Should you summon Juno in Grand Summoners? This really shouldn't even be a video. I ain't even gonna cap. You guys already know how crazy both these banners are, and they're absolutely worth it if you want to summon on them. I'm just gonna say it right out the gate, which probably means that a lot of you can just click off this video. However, one of the questions that I do want to answer in this is which step up may be better for you. Since both of these step ups are very, very good, I think one may be a little bit better than the other depending on what you are lacking. So ladies and gentlemen, strap in, strap up, strap on. I shouldn't have said that because we're going deep into this banner and we're talking about it right here, right now. Also, another thing too, because this will probably be coming out on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the case may be, either way, depending on when it comes out. But yeah, if you celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoy it with your family and friends and all that good stuff. But either way, let's get into this. So we have two step-up summons. We have the Honor step-up summon and we have the Faith step-up summon. Both these step-up summons look pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie to you. And each of them have very, very strong units. The Honor step-up summon, of course, features Juno, Vox, Leon, Rivi, and Duke, which is pretty solid. That's really, really good. And then the Faith step-up will be featuring Juno, Swick, Berwick, Thetis, and Rosetta. Now, really, these banners, in my opinion, comes down to which ones are your favorites, I feel like. But at the same time, I do think statistically, there may be one better than the other in terms of what you could get. For one, let's talk about the Honor step-up summon and say the pros and cons about this, because I really don't need to break down these units. We all know what these guys do by now, right? So the Honor step-up summon with Vox is pretty tempting, I feel like, for a lot of people. Vox is one of the best units in the entire game, literally has been like unrivaled since his release. And if you don't have him, it's very, very tempting just to try this banner just for him. However, I think that out of everyone, the only two quote-unquote optimal units from this are pretty much Vox and Juno. Rivi is still a really strong contender nowadays, don't get me wrong, very strong physical damage dealer, but her negative is really bad, which is she takes a lot of damage, like 30% damage resist now when she pops her Magia Drive. Granted, she does get a sizable damage buff bonus due to 150% crit damage up. I will say it's not as good as just using a different unit that doesn't have a negative. Unfortunately, she has been hit with some power creep in the days. She still does a lot of damage, but there's just other units that can do the same damage as her without having like a negative tied to them to where they're just squishy. Of course, you can counteract this negative for Rivi by using someone like Thetis on the same team or using something else that's like a defensive unit to help support Rivi. But if you don't have one like that, I'm telling you, Rivi's just gonna die, just gonna blow up instantly. Leon is another unit that's on this banner, and Leon, I feel like it's just such a meme. I think she deserves a rework of some kind or to be touched again by the GS dev team.
What do you mean by that?
Her own true weapon is better on her sister than herself. That doesn't make sense. Like, why is that a thing? So I really hope that they actually touch up this unit at some point in the future, because I think Leon could have potential to be really, really strong, but her damage output is low. Her kit is kind of underwhelming. It's a very cool concept, but they need to go a little bit crazier with it, in my opinion. And then Duke, I still think is one of the best breakers in the entire game. But as I always say, when do you ever need a breaker? Majority of content in this game, I would say around 70% of this content, you know what, 75, screw it, we're bumping up to 80. 80% of the content in the game does not need a breaker. So why would you need Duke? Who knows? He looks cool though. I do fuck with my mans. And then we're gonna go over to the Faith step-up summon. The Faith step-up summon to me is a little bit more promising in my opinion. I think this is more of an in-game oriented banner, at least to me. So for one, of course, we have Juno, insane. We have Thetis on this banner, which is one of the best in-game tanks of the entire game. Literally is like unrivaled. The only person that could kind of rival this guy is maybe like Miranda against magic damage fights. But Thetis is one of the best taunt tanks in the game, insanely strong. And if you don't have him and you want to try to pick him up, this may be the place to do it. You have Berwick, which is the fire Berwick. Well, both of them are fire, but you have the mage Berwick, let's say. The mage Berwick is still a formidable fire damage buffer and fire damage dealer. Really strong. However, I do think the boy Berwick doesn't deal as much damage as other fire damage dealers that we've gotten recently, stuff like How and everything. But I think he's still really good as just an overall well-rounded unit. To be honest, you can put this guy on any team. He doesn't need to be on a mono fire team, and he's going to do work for you. He's an arch genner, a damage buffer, all in one. Very solid. Next, you have his weeb form, which is Swick. To be honest, if you don't have Sistina, this is like literally the next best option. Swick is 100% physical damage buffer, which means that he works perfectly well with any physical damage dealer in the game. The only thing this guy doesn't do is 30% damage resist down, which is something that Sistina does, but he has everything else going for him pretty much. He has Archgen on his art. He has the same slots as Sistina, so that's pretty solid. And he still has the 100% physical damage buff. So a lot of good stuff with Swick, and he's also one of the required units, or do I want to say required? He's one of the most used units in one of the most difficult fights in the game, which is Aces. So he's definitely really good, and if you are lacking a physical damage buffer still, this banner may be a little bit tempting for you. And then you have Rosetta, and Rosetta, a magic damage buffer, or she is an Archgener that is just able to supply her team with Archgen for days, and she's also able to lower the enemy's magic resist. However, the thing that holds Rosetta back is her Archgen typing. She has the same type as Juno, meaning that they're both type B, and that means that if you use Rosetta and Juno on the same team, their Archgen will not stack, which is very, very unfortunate, because if you could use both of them on a team, goodness dude, the amount of Archgen you could have would be ridiculous. And those are both the banners. Now, the whole thing about should you summon or not, of course you should summon on these banners, but which one would be better for you? And here's like my mindset going into this. So if we look at the honor step up summon, I would say this banner would maybe be for you if you want Juno and you have a lot of like physical damage dealers, not just physical damage dealers, you have a lot of like pretty solid like setups already, but you are lacking Vox and you want 100% crit buffer. You can get Vox and then you never need to worry about getting 100% crit buffer again, because he's one of the best crit buffers in the entire game. The only other thing about this banner though is that the other units are kind of a little bit lackluster. However, I would say that the Faith step up summon should not be slept on either. Just because this summon does not have Vox doesn't mean that this is bad. If you need a physical damage buffer, you have the Swick on here. If you need a damage buffer or a fire damage buffer, you have the regular Berwick on here. If you need one of the best tanks in the game, he is on here. And then of course you have one of the best magic damage dealers in the game and Archgeners, which is Juno. And then you have Rosetta, which is an insanely good support as well. So in my opinion, even though Vox is on the other one, I think that the one that actually has the most value in it is maybe the Faith step up summon, just because of what all this banner is offering. So my pick would be, if you're going to be going on one, I would say most people would maybe benefit the most from going with the Faith step up summon. But of course, like I said before in the beginning of this video, this entire thing is up to you. It's really more of a personal preference thing than which is like the right and wrong answer, because to be honest, both these banners are insane and there's really not a wrong answer for going on one or the other. The only reason why you would skip these banners is literally just because you already have everybody, which unfortunately I'm in that boat. I just don't have Rosetta. But guys, that is going to be it. If you're going to be summoning on the Juno banner later tonight or tomorrow, depending on when this video comes out, I wish you guys the best of luck. Hopefully I see tomorrow on my Twitter, you guys tweeting me, all you guys getting your Junos and everything. I'll be retweeting and liking tweets all day, literally whenever this banner goes live. So hey man, if you get something good, make sure you show it off. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you all again for coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.